When you are a 2D artist, perfection is always something you seek. And apart from perfecting your understanding and application of anatomy, light, shadow, and other fundamentals, one very important thing, most notably when it comes to 2D digital art, is the post-production editing of your drawings and digital paintings. While we see mediums and varnish used in oil paintings to bring out their true colors and give them a boost in their appearance, we have, in digital art, plenty of options and software to help us do the same. For this purpose, we thought it would be a great idea to compare between one of the most popular and most known software used to edit pictures post their production, whether 2D art or photography. With that said, let's jump into the exploration of GIMP versus Lightroom. If you want to learn more about GIMP and Lightroom, we chose two amazing courses for you today that will help you do just that. The first course by Chris Parker, Learn how to use GIMP to edit your photos like a pro. The course is a beginner project-based class. You'll first start with the fundamentals, like how to install GIMP, how to set up and get accustomed to the interface, personal preferences, settings, etc. You're going to see how to use layers, layer masks, paint tools, and everything in between. The second course is Adobe Lightroom Masterclass by Nigel Danson, a professional landscape photographer. You'll learn new ways to edit your photo creatively using the tools that Lightroom provides, and how to edit the settings of your photo, such as lighting, curves, contrast, highlights, and so on and so forth, in order to give mood and tell a story through your pictures, using our code. Links in the description. First, GIMP. GIMP, or more specifically GNU Image Manipulation Program, is a software first developed by Spencer Kimball and Peter Mattis. This software was intended for retouching and modifying raster graphics, PNG, JPG, and JPEG images, as opposed to vector graphics, something made for photographers more than anything. This software is free and open source, meaning the source code for it is out there, and you can pick it up and add new tools and options if you're tech savvy. The software can be used on Mac OS, Linux, and of course, Windows. Although the software has a couple of drawing tools, it's not made for drawing or digital painting. Trying to use it for such purposes can be a losing battle. In fact, we explore this in our comparison of Krita versus GIMP, so feel free to check it out. Now that we know a bit about GIMP, let's explore Lightroom a bit. Lightroom, or more professionally, Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, is an image editing software in all of its glory. It's very laser-focused on fine-tuning your photos with advanced cataloging in mind. The software is not only available on the usual Mac OS and Windows, but also iOS and Android. It comes in the format of apps that you can download and use on your phone and tablet. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Lightroom, however, is not free, and it comes as a part of the Creative Cloud subscription, which has many different types and prices. However, the mobile version is free, albeit having a premium version with extra goodies. It all depends on whether you think that's worth it for you or not. Now that we know a bit more about the two software, let's explore them on a deeper level. Let's start off with GIMP. When you open GIMP, you have a regular 2D software interface with a toolbar on the left that presents different tools, such as brushes, selection tools, magic wand, etc., etc. On the lower end of that, you would have your brush customization options if you select your brush tool, or text customization if you've selected your text tool. The right side has a docker that contains different brush shapes, textures, and text styles. And on the bottom right, you have your layers and different layer options, as well as channels and paths dialogues. The software also has multiple themes from dark to light that you can choose from depending on what suits you best. And finally, we can't forget the canvas space in the middle, where you can work on your pictures. This, however, doesn't mean that the software isn't customizable in its presentation. GIMP actually allows you to change almost everything about the interface to fit your needs. However, it's much more of a less user-friendly program, as you would need to do a lot of looking and searching for things, unless you're following a tutorial. Let's now move on to Lightroom. Lightroom, upon opening, is like no other 2D program. Since the software works as an image organization tool, you'll be first met with the library module, or simply the library section, where you can organize your photos. Once you import your pictures, you can go to the develop module, explore your presets, and browse your edit history. On the right side of your develop module, you have all of your image editing tools, like cropping, resizing, healing, etc. The other modules have purposes, but they're less significant. The map module puts your images in a map, the book module puts them in a book, the print module, well, does just that, and the web modules puts them in a web gallery. The options available directly in the modules, dockers, and panels are quite simplistic in comparison to the ones in the menu bar, or those that can be accessed by right-clicking on specific panels. This keeps the software compressed and less intimidating. Lightroom, with its interface, does more hand-holding as it guides you through the process of editing your photos. Now that we know how the software present themselves, let's explore the tools they give and how they are operated. Starting off with GIMP, when you import your images, you have plenty of tools and options to work with. You have your usual but valuable selection tools in all shapes and types. You have your painting and drawing brushes, healing and cloning tools, smudging, blurring, sharpening, dodging and burning, and so many more. You also have a variety of tools for all of your transformation purposes, like rotating and cropping and even wrapping and 3D transforming. And of course, we can't forget color tools.